everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Inner Health Project. My name is Chris Angel, your co-host, here with Hannah Getty, your host. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, Chris.
It's another episode, part two of our series on how to show love. This one we're talking about how to show love for others. The last episode we did how to show love for yourself, which was super interesting. We got into courage and fear and all these different things that I didn't expect to show up. So I'm excited to see where this episode goes. I have no idea where we're going to go, but
I don't either.
yes. Well, that's good. We're trusting the spirit on this one. I think let me start with a question. So in the conversation of how do we show love for others, like, why is that important? Like, what are we speaking to? What is the symptom that we're addressing?
So you can always think of, well, I'm showing love by telling somebody that I love them or giving them a gift. And you might be thinking, well, these are the right ways to show love, or this is what society deems to be showing love, or I'm giving money to the poor. But what are your real true intentions behind that? What are you really feeling? Is your heart and soul backing up your actions?
Yeah. And
are you just going through the motions, or is this your genuine way of expressing love to other people?
Yeah. There was a book I read years ago called The Four Agreements. Did you read The Four Agreements?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes me think of, like, there are these agreements cultural agreements that we sort of just inherit by growing up in a family, growing up in a school, growing up with people around us about how we behave, how we act, what we do. And I think sometimes, like, showing love to others, there's a certain cultural agreement about what love looks like and how we do it. And I don't know, you tell me, but I sort of feel like sometimes we just are on autopilot and very robotic about the way that we go about love or kindness or politeness in our society. And it's not, like you said, often coming from a place of what feels right in our soul, right? We just kind of like show up. I used this last time, but we just show up to the family event because that's what we do. And it's not because my intention was to show up and be loving at my family event. It's because I got to go to the family event.
Right. And are you going with this attitude of, I want to be with my family, I miss them, I want to connect with them, or I just have to be here because it's what's expected of me? Right. I mean, that's two totally different feelings in yourself, and feelings from others will feel it as well.
Right.
And if you're just going through the motions and you're not showing love the way that you deeply want to show it.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. I don't think that's love.
Right. I think I'm not sure that answer is on the surface for people. Like, if I thought about, like, what am I really, like, how do I really want to love? What is my intention? I think those are deeper places that people have to access in order to answer that question. Yeah. Do you think so?
Answer the question of, how do I love other people?
Yeah, like, answer the question of, how do I love? How do I want to love? What's my intention for this gathering or these people? I'm not sure that I don't think I walk around with that in a day. Like, let's see, I have these different appointments today, these client appointments. Like, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to do what I normally do. But if I thought about, like, it would take something different to get to a place of, how do I actually show love to my clients versus just go through the motion with my clients?
Well, I think for me, when I show up for somebody else or a client, the way I show love to them is being fully present for them. I mean, it's not about me anymore. It's about them. And I'm here to be in the space with you, for you.
Yeah.
Even having a good conversation with a friend, just being fully present for them and actually listening to what they're saying, and kind of putting all of my own, we come in with prejudgments and preconceived notions and all that, and just putting that aside and thinking, well, this person may have something to teach me, and just being humble. I think being humble and not letting the fear of expectation, like you're not following the rules, the expectations of how you're supposed to be.
Right.
Just letting that go.
Because I think sometimes the expectation part of how you're supposed to be with other people it doesn't get into love. That gets into politeness, politically correctness. That gets into like all the things that we do that become robotic for the cultural agreements we inherited versus really coming from a place of intention.
Right. And let's get away from small talk. Let's connect on a deeper level. And I think to do that, you have to authentically show love to people, and you have to be fully present for them.
What's the pay? I'm curious what the payoff is, like, you know, because I'm gonna have to access something in myself to do this. So if I'm gonna go through the work of like trying to get access to really loving people and having the intention, I say that only because I can be jaded sometimes about really like trying to find that, right? What's the payoff for me showing up in the world as somebody who loves others, showing love to others? What's in it for me?
I think let's go back to the conversation you're having with somebody. You get a deeper connection with them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people are you surrounded by in a day, but you feel alone? Do you want to feel alone all of your life? Like, or you're at that family reunion and you don't want to be there, but you're sitting there, you're alone. You're not connecting. You're not throwing fear away, and you're not taking the courage to step outside of your comfort zone and be present for people and be a part of life.
It's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like you're saying that in showing love for others, I'm showing love for myself. In showing love for others, like there's a lot of people who quote unquote show love through their actions. And like I sent a handwritten note and I high-fived 5 people today, but I did all these things and I still feel empty, right? So somebody could be outwardly somebody could look like they're doing a lot of loving things and feel completely empty inside because the intention of love wasn't there.
Right.
Versus somebody that comes from intention saying, okay, like what's in it for me is that I actually get to know myself and feel loving and powerful in my day because I feel full and connected and loved because I'm giving love.
Yeah. I mean, you're just going to feel overjoyed when you make someone's day with in your own authentic way, and you are loving them and you're loving yourself at the same time, because there's that connection and there's that giving. Yeah. But it's giving that's good for both of you.
Yeah. Wow, that is really good. Another one that surprised me. I didn't expect that to pop up in this conversation, but it's really interesting. I think there's a lot of people that feel lonely. I've felt lonely a lot of times in my adult life. And now that you're saying this, if I actually go back and look at those seasons of life, I think a lot of that can, I don't know if I can quite get to that. It's exactly because of it, but I can definitely see that in those seasons, there's absolutely the presence of, I was doing things for myself, not out of love or intention for others. I was doing a lot of things for others, but I wasn't doing them with an intention of love. And so everything felt really empty and lonely.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
And I felt that way in the past as well. I was very afraid to be vulnerable. And maybe that's what is stopping people is feeling. So for me to do this show, right? I'm being very, very vulnerable, and I'm allowing people to see me. And when I start doing that, the connections just come, and it feels genuine with people, and it feels awesome. But before, when I was shut down and not allowing myself to be seen by people, I felt very isolated and alone. And I was like, I'm trying to make friends, but why isn't this working? And I think it was because I was afraid to be open to other people.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like blowing my mind. Really interesting. Like if you pictured these two episodes, like part 1 showing love for yourself and part 2 showing love for others, and each of these as like containers or rooms in a house or something, have like these back doors to each other. Like there's in showing love to others, we're actually real love, not the act that looks like it's loving, but like actually showing love to someone else actually comes back this direction into myself, and loving myself actually gives me the space to show up fully to love others. Like there's this yin and yang to it. There's both and, right? In these.
Yeah, I think our outward actions are just a reflection of our inward actions, our inward feelings towards ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just
our inner health. Is that
our inner
health?
Our inner health.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I also think it's interesting in both of these episodes, the common elements of fear and courage. Like it takes courage to step into the unknown of loving yourself or to love others, right? To stand up for yourself and to say no to the things that you've been putting up with and set boundaries, or to let your guard down and to be fully present with others that in a way that's vulnerable. Both of those, there's fear and courage attached.
Yeah. And you have to work through that and I mean, first acknowledge it if it shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Hannah, if people want to reach out to you, they want to book a massage with you, or they want to talk to you, learn more about the Inner Health Project, like where can people go to connect with you?
Yeah, you can go to my website, innerhealthproject.com, and that will have all the episodes on there as well as some blog posts. You can also click on my business website from there, and you can learn more about massage therapy and the type of massage that I do there. So
I love it. Hannah, thanks again for another great episode. We'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks, Chris.
See ya.